Hello and a good morning, good afternoon and a very good evening to you all, the good and wonderful people of the Tube. Hope today, hope you're feeling grand and all is well in your world. Hello everybody. That intro jam people of the Tube could have gone on for many more hours. I was lost in that, absolutely lost in that. And I am lost in this amp, people of the Tube. May I introduce you today to the Carlsbro GLX 30. Now, I think the GLX Carlsbros are kind of like I would say a forgotten gem, because no one really knows about these things, and I think they are fantastic. My second ever amp in the world was a Carlsbro GLX 100, and I still have it, and it's loud as hell, and it weighs more than the Titanic's anchor, but it sounds fantastic. Straight in, pedals, you name it. It's just amazing, and I think Carlsbro are kind of like overlooked, you know. And I think it's a bit of it's not really fair, because these amps are amazing. I recently got given this amp actually by a guy you'll probably know, a friend of mine called he goes on YouTube by the name of Dr. Nerd. He's the same guy I got the Les Paul you saw in the intro jam off, the Hondo 2, and he very very kindly gave me this amp, and I love it. I love having. It's almost an insult to call this its baby brother to the GLX 100, because this thing, it's only 30 watts, and there's something weird about it. I'll tell you in a sec. Well, I think it's weird. It's not really weird, but I think it's kind of strange. It's an odd decision. The 100 watt, yeah, don't get me wrong. The 100 watt is absolutely deafening. It will rip your face off at 100 yards. But this is a 30 watt, and it's loud, man. I've only got the volume today at 10, and this is one of those amps where you keep turning the volume up, it just keeps getting louder. It's not like one of those amps that once you get to a certain point, it doesn't get any louder. This thing just keeps getting louder and louder and louder and louder. It's just insane, and you could gig this. You could easily gig this thing. I mean, it doesn't have a massive amount of throw in its sound, so I probably need miking up, but like I say, for a small pub or club or something like that, you could gig this thing easy. Well, no, saying that, you could gig this at an arena, all you do is put a mic on it, you'd be away. It sounds fantastic. So what's the weird thing? Well, I think it's weird. It probably isn't weird whatsoever, but I think it's kind of, I love this amp for this. This amp, people of the Tube, has two 8-inch speakers. Now, normally, for like a single 30 watt amp, you normally have either one 10-inch or a 12-inch speaker. You know, I'm thinking about the Marshall MG30s. They had a single 12-inch speaker. I've got a Marshall Master Reverb 30 over there. I've got two of them over there, and they've got 10-inch speakers. Same wattage as the Carlsbro here. I've also had a couple of other amps in the past with, you know, 30 watts, and again, usually a 10 or a 12-inch speaker. But this one's got two 8-inch speakers, and I think that is cool. And it does give it a different sound. It still sounds fantastic, and the amp's extraordinarily 3D. Like, when you're playing it in the room, it fills the room. And that's exactly like the other one I've got. The GLX 100 does the exact same thing. You would think you were playing for a half stack. You really would. They are absolute room fillers. I don't know what Carlsbro did with these GLX amps, but they did it right. And these things are amazing. And normally, you can pick these things up dirt cheap, because again, no one really knows about them. They're not extremely valuable. They're not like, you know, anything like that. But for what you get, like, I saw one of these for sale recently near me, which is a bit weird actually. I got given this one, and then one came up for sale, and I think it's up for sale for like something like 40 quid. Which is normally about the going rate. I saw a GLX 100 for sale, my bigger combo, which again, you could gig anywhere with that thing. It's so loud. Just make sure you got, you know, some muscles, because that thing weighs a ton. It's a big Celestion 100 watt speaker in there. But I saw one of those for sale. I think I was like 80 quid, which is exactly what I bought mine for back in the day. Like I say, I got my first Carlsbro because I needed an amp for gigging. In my first year of playing guitar, when I first started gigging, we found out very early on that a PV Rage 158 trans tube is not going to cut it live. So we went to local guitar shop Paul's, which sadly isn't there anymore, and we got the Carlsbro GLX 30 a 100, and that was my main amp for a year until I got my Marshall MG half stack. But I would never ever get rid of my GLX 100, and I never ever want to get rid of this because this is fantastic. It's tiny as well. It's really compact. It's like corned beef. The speakers are Celestion. They are. I don't exactly know. I can't remember exactly what model they are. I'll tell you what, PeopleTube. This point in time, I'll give you a shot of the front panel and also the speakers in the back, so you can see what they are, because I forget offhand. So yeah, it's a 2-channel amplifier, built-in spring reverb. You have a clean channel, you have a drive channel, you've got shared EQ, so bass, middle, treble, reverb dial, master volume. You got auxiliary in and out, you got headphone in, foot switch, which is that. I actually have one of these as well for my GLX, my 100. I've got one of these as well, which is cool. These are ace. But this one's been modded. This one works. Dr. Nerdy modded this one so you can have just a normal guitar lead to do it. Mine's broken because it isn't like that. Anyway, 2 inputs, high and low impedance as far as I know. I'll say, for me though, I just love the 2 8-inch speakers. They just sound different, and I just love them. I really do feel Carlsbro are criminally overlooked for their amps, because this amp is amazing. I would, in all fairness, I think I would quite happily go to a gig with this and a wah pedal, because the drive sound is amazing. You don't get tons of distortion out. You probably want a booster for solos, but I love the sound. And for some reason, I don't know why, every time I plug into this now, or when I used to plug into my GLX 100, it's upstairs, I just get reminded, I don't know why, but it makes me feel like I want to be in Thin Lizzy doing the Jailbreak album. I don't know why. It doesn't sound anything like the Jailbreak album, but I don't know why. It makes me want to play Thin Lizzy riff, which obviously I can't do, which I would love to do for you, PeopleTube, but I can't, because, you know, powers to be don't want free promotion for their artists to make more money. They would rather just shut you down and make money in a magical way, not involving advertisement. That's always worked out well. Anyway, so yeah, basically that's it. So this thing, like I say, this thing takes pedals like nobody's biz. So what I'm going to do now, PeopleTube, is I'm going to show you my pedal board, and then I'm going to plug Mr. White in, plug the Hondo in, and let's get a couple of different sounds for you out of the Carlsbro GLX 30, because it's great. And again, 2 8-inch speakers. I mean, that to me, it is weird to me, because again, I associate 8-inch speakers with things like I don't know, like say for instance like that down there. I don't know if you'd be able to see it, but things like the little Fender Bronco, which is I think that's a 6-inch actually. But either way, I associate 8-inch speakers with a 15-watt amp. My Ibanez Tube Screamer amp as an 8-inch speaker, and that's 5 watts. So normally small wattage amplifiers do it, but I would also know their thinking behind why they did 2 8-inch speakers and a 30-watt amp, because it works. It really works. It's amazing. I love it. And again, this amp sounds fantastic. And again, it takes pedals, plug in. You know, it's great. The reverb is a real spring as well. And weirdly enough, I'm doing the exact same thing on this amp that I do on my GLX 100, which is gun the reverb. I love the reverb on 10. It just splishes and splashes in a most fantastical way. Anyway, I'm going to shut up waffling, PeopleTube, let you hear it with pedals, just so you can hear it. And we're going through the clean channel for pedals. I've got the gain 1, which is the clean channel kind of like volume, if you will, on 10. No bass, mids. Oh, this is another thing I'll talk about in a sec as well before we do get going. I've got mids at 2 o'clock. Treble, wait for it, is just past 3 o'clock, so it's quite cranked. Reverb is all the way up on 10, and the volume is at 10 o'clock. So these amps are very, very dark sounding amplifiers, and they're very warm. And the really thing I love about the treble dial on these amps, and it goes for the same, when I run through my GLX 100 upstairs, I normally run the treble at about 3 o'clock, because you need to. Otherwise it's just like, it's just really dark. They're a really dark sounding amp. They're not like Marshalls or Fenders or Voxes or anything like that. They have a real dark sound to them, so you have to use the treble on these kind of amps. and it just adds sparkle. It's really, really nice. It's a great treble dial. It really is. And you know what I'm like for not liking treble people tube? I love it on these amps. They sound fantastic. Anyway, that's enough whiffle waffle. Let's get some noises going. Pedalboard noises, pedals noises. This one there, and that one there, and this one here, and everywhere. YouTube. So there you go. That's my pedal board through it. It was a bit too dark actually. I just turned the treble up a bit more. So the treble is actually at 4 o'clock now. And that does seem to be a bit better. Yeah. What pedal did it hate? Is the question. None is the answer. A none pedal, Dave. Which one's that? It's the one that brings peace and harmony throughout the system. Anyway, shut up, weirdo. So yeah, now what we're going to do with Humbucker, we're going to unplug the pedal board. I'm just going to go straight into the amp, and I'm going to get you a couple of different sounds with Mr. White here, and then we'll plug the Hondo back in, get a couple of different sounds with humbuckers as well. Let you hear what's going on with the amp straight in. Yeah, and then that's that, really, people. I'd say they really are underrated, these Carlsbro amps. They really are. I mean, I love these things. The GLX series are fantastic, and I'm so happy to have another one. I'm going to have to do some research into these things. I don't really know much about them because I've never really actually looked into them. I just know I like them, if that makes any sense. Anyway, that's enough waffle. Let's play a bit more and make some more noises with the Carlsbro GLX 30 with two 8-inch speakers. Still weirds me out, but in a good way. Okay, people, I'm going to stop there because otherwise this video is going to be like 16 million years long. This amp is so addictive. I think mainly because it's not an amp of a million voices. It does 1, 2, or 3 tones really well. And when I say really well, I mean amazingly well. That one, especially with the Les Paul, like that broken up distortion sound, I could play on that for hours. And I take back what I said at the beginning of it not having enough gain, people achieve. It's got enough gain in here to cobble a donkey at 50 yards. It really has. It sounds... Hopefully the sound came across okay. I say it's interesting having a 2.8 inch. I mean, it doesn't feel like a small speaker when you're playing it though. It's a big... This is a massive sounding amp. It really is a big sounding amp. And it sounds fantastic. People of the Tube, what are your thoughts on the sounds of this thing? Again, hopefully they came across okay. Hopefully I caught them okay. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below, people of the Tube. And I'm going to leave it there for today. But this thing is amazing. Massive thanks to Dr. Nerd for the gift of this. This is absolutely wicked. I love it to bits. It's going nowhere fast. I can tell you that. It's too good. And I love what it does. You know, it's very classic to kind of 80s rock, if that makes any sense. Like, it's a very classic period of time tone. I don't know if that makes any sense whatsoever, people. Hopefully it does. But it's a great amp. It's simple as can be. And it's one of those amps that's, again, like I said, is really addictive. You get onto one sound and you can't pull yourself away from it. That sound I just had then with the Les Paul, that really crunchy, overdriven sound. I was like, I don't want to stop. I just want to keep playing this sound. It was, like I say, it's like if I stop, it's like it's a bad thing if I stop, which is always good. Weird contradiction there, but you know what I mean. It really is. There's something about when you plug into an amp and the sound you get makes you want to keep playing and playing and playing. You know that's a good thing. Fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Okay, I really feel these old Carlsbro amps. Well, not old. Well, old. I don't know. I hate to call it old because I think it's from the 90s, and that's the year. That's the year I grew up in. Born in the 80s, grew up in the 90s more than anything. But like, I hate to say that's old because that was only yesterday, wasn't it? Oasis, Britpop. I remember watching Oasis on Top of the Pops yesterday. Right? That was yesterday. Anyway. Anyone else feel weird about that? Anyway, but yeah, these things are amazing. Like I say, they're normally ridiculously cheap as well. But they're so good. They're so good. The Carlsbro GLX series are amazing. I'm going to have to look into a bit more of the line. Let's see. I'll have to see if I can get some more people to. I wonder if they did a 50. I wonder if they did a 51. I wonder if they did a head. That'd be cool. That would be really cool. I wonder how many more they did. I will look it up, YouTube, and you never know. You might see another GLX on the channel at some point in the future. But yeah, they're great amps. They're great for pedals. They're great for straight in. They're great for any kind of guitar. They're great for kind of like classic rock to kind of like 80s rock, like like ZZ Top 80s kind of sound, or Guns N' Roses. That's the band I wanted to say. But it's very good for that kind of plexi kind of thing of early ZZ Top as well. If you kind of like lower the gain on the drive channel, you get that kind of like broken up plexi thing, and then when you crank it, you get more into that kind of like 80s kind of like harder rock kind of sound, Guns N' Roses kind of sound. It's just amazing. Fantastic. What a fantastic amp. What a fantastic amp. I'm really curious to see how well the sound's recorded, again, with the 8-inch speaker. I'm very, very curious to see how that came across. Anyway, Poochie, I'm gonna get off because I want to get this video edited together so I can go back playing this. Especially on that sound with the Hondo, it sounded fantastic. That was really inspiring. I was just like, this is amazing. And again, I have to fight the urge to play Thin Lizzy. Why? Why? Why is that a thing? I don't get it. But people tube, literally, every time I play through my GLX upstairs and this GLX now, I just want to play Thin Lizzy riffs, which is weird. I don't know why. I'm just possessed by Scott Gorham. Anyway, who's my favourite Thin Lizzy guitarist, by the way, people tube. But anyway, useless information 101 with Dave Simpson. Let me know what you thought, people tube. The Carlsbro GLX 30, two 8-inch speakers, 30 watt, full solid state amp. from the 90s, I believe. I don't exactly know what year these things were made, specifically, but I do believe they're from the early 90s, I think. But let me know what you thought, people of Tube. They look great, they sound great, they're built like absolute tanks, these things are. You'd go a long way to kill it, let's put it that way. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. If you like the videos I do here, please consider becoming a patron at Patreon. Links to that are down there in the description box, as well as links to my music at Bandcamp. Other than that, goodbye now. Carlsbro GLX series, people of the Tube. Highly recommended. Gets my cast iron seal of approval. Goodbye now.